Welcome back, learners. In this section, we are going to discuss knowledge management. This is the subject of MPRS, and we are in the last unit where we are going to discuss how the organizations manage the knowledge and information in their organization which can be used to gain the competitive advantage. Yes, human assets have to be managed in such a way that all the knowledge that they are bringing in the organization, and as an organization also they are creating some knowledge together, that has to be managed. So in this lecture we are going to understand what is knowledge, what is management for the organization, and what this whole process is about, how it takes place in the organizations and how it varies industry to industry. What are the reasons to failure of the organizations when they fail to manage their knowledge? So let us try and understand the concept of knowledge. At the first place, let us see this diagram where data, information and knowledge, three categories have been defined, and as we go up to the ladder, to the top of the pyramid, you can see that when data is gathered, it can be collected and organized. After organizing, you all know that we can analyze this data. So, analyzing and summarizing of this data gives us some information and numbers which can be interpreted. These interpreted numbers are synthesized and the patterns, the indications are observed which can be used for the decision making. So whatever these patterns, indicators or observations are giving us is the knowledge. So data management and table documents, data management through tables or document forms or even the speeches can be collected and organized. So many of the organizations are having their businesses in the KPOs and BPOs where they are nothing but doing the business of collecting that data and organizing it for other companies. So they have been outsourced this whole process, which is their core business, to collect the data. So there are such research organizations who are doing this part. So this is how the data management is possible. So the information created by these organizations is being used by the organizations who had outsourced them. So as you can see here, the information creation happens at the second stage through analyzing and summarizing. So the data analysts, the companies who are engaged in the processes of analyzing, they are creating these data. Many of the BPOs have their processes for just recording the mergers and acquisitions throughout the world and noticing their or recording their impact pre and post mergers. So how the related industries shares and share prices react in the markets, that can also be recorded. So this is, I'm just giving one example that how companies are doing their businesses, what exact processes they do. So some of the companies engage in this process, they will keep record of those mergers and acquisitions and generate some reports. Now it is a part of these analysts who do all the analysis and try to figure out some trends, some observations, and those observations and knowledge give them, those observations and information gives them a knowledge. This knowledge now is being used by the corporates, groups and individual. It can also be about the corporates, groups and individual, which is used for decision making. So friends, when this knowledge is created in such a way, which is the, here I have figured the knowledge process, knowledge generation process. If we take the decisions, we can also learn from the experiences and add on that, and the whole knowledge board is created. Now, these are some of the dimensions of knowledge management. So, when knowledge management process came into the picture in 1990s, there were several theories developed by the researchers, and they came up with three kind of theories in gross, and those were organizational theory, ecological theory and technocentric theories. So just in one line, let us understand organizational theory here means the design or the structure of the organization to be framed in such a way that the knowledge coming into that organization is being utilized. We will talk how the knowledge, means what are the sources of knowledge for the organization. So the first organization theory basically discusses how to create the healthy organizational culture, and its design should be in such a way that there is a free flow of information across all the ladders and hierarchies, and also it is at a quicker pace so that everybody is updated with the necessary information that can be used by the individual department or even a group or even the organization as a whole. And this utilization is turning into what? This utilization of the knowledge is making them able to frame such strategies and policies which can be beneficial for the organization. And that is why these knowledge sources are extremely important. Second is ecological theory. Here the ecology of the organization means what kind of relationships among the employees are being created so that there will be a healthy sharing and communication amongst them, and there is a interpersonal relationship that is being created. So if the healthiest the culture is, there will be easy sharing and easy generation of knowledge. The last theory, that is technocentric theory, talks about the processes of designing and storing and also sharing these stored knowledge. So in what way, what are the sources of this information storing and sharing? So the information or knowledge is being stored, where it can be stored, or is it storable? And these questions should be asked. So process of designing a storing and sharing mechanism means what is the technology, where are you? For example, there are computer systems, companies' own ERP system is there, and also companies' human assets also carry some of the important knowledge with them about the organization, which is often we call it tacit information, which cannot be expressed easily, which cannot be recorded anywhere easily. So that tacit information is also with them, which is very valuable for the organization. So here in 1990s, when these terms started coming up and popping up, they came up with three-dimensional theories. Now these are the frameworks or theories on which the knowledge management was started to based on. Let us understand again what we do with this knowledge. When this knowledge is created, that companies are collecting and generating some records and using them for the decision making, what is happening there? So this knowledge has to be first defined by the organization for itself. For every industry, for every organization, the term knowledge would be defined in exclusive way. Why this is so? Let us take an example of medical industry, wherein medical equipments or pharmaceutical industry, where most of the research and development work is done to produce new medicines and also to keep a track of the effects of the medicines that are already present in the market or to modify them, right? So such type of industries, for them the knowledge is what? That has to be defined first. So for such industries, the knowledge is knowledge about the markets, knowledge about their own product, knowledge about the upcoming technology in their industry that has to be adopted. They also have their human assets as the sources of knowledge, because every employee that is coming in the organization is also having some knowledge about it, which may or may not be possessed by elsewhere. So there are four sources of knowledge. One is the employee individually is bringing in. Second is the organization that is creating all together with the help of these human assets. Third is their R&D department, which is in a continuous process of innovations and generating new experimental data, so that it can be, the new trends can be understood. So the first stage is identifying this knowledge and defining this knowledge and identifying the sources of knowledge. Not only people are sources of knowledge, even the technology, current process which is in the run, when that process is being impacted by the external sources, it may tell you some trends or some traits. Those also have to be tracked, and that is converted into information, which becomes the knowledge base for a decision making. So when these sources of knowledge are identified, the next stage is acquiring them. Many of the times, talent acquisition is also considered as knowledge acquisition for the organization, especially those organizations who are engaged in human resources related businesses, where every human is becoming a valuable asset for the organization. So acquiring also such information and such technology that is bringing more and more information for the market for them. Even the company's R&D department itself is a knowledge source for it. Now, developing this knowledge, how do we develop the knowledge? Friends, knowledge is the information in three parts. That is explicit information, implicit information, and also the tacit information. So explicit information is coming from the external sources, which we ourselves have not generated. We are just simply collecting them, understanding them, and using them. Implicit is the information which is it is not readily available, but you can create it using the secondary sources. And tacit information is such which is not expressible easily. For example, the experiences of the customer about your product. Isn't it an important information for your organization? It is indeed. So when you are collecting the feedbacks of the customers and recording them, it is generating a knowledge base for the organization. So any information collected about the suppliers, about the customers, about the employees, about every stakeholder is a base of the knowledge for the organization. So this knowledge has to be developed by collecting more and more information, and that information has to be applied. So it is well said quote that the knowledge without its application is a waste. So where are you going to apply this? So as soon as there are certain surveys, researches conducted by the organization, and also the past records that have been maintained, with the help of these sources, the organization also comes up with new ways to tackle with the employees and to tackle the processes and modify them, enhance them for the better efficiency gain. So developing in case of employees happens through conducting development programs, conducting customized and necessary trainings, and also acquiring them and also making them equipped with the latest information. Now this latest information to them can be shared easily and quickly through their internal sources. We can often say that intranet web services, where there are blogs, journals, newsletters, videos and certain announcements by the authorities which can give them the quick information. Sometimes this information, if it is related to the major changes in the organization or any operating activity, then those can be communicated through certain short or long training programs, or those can be decentralized, and with the help of the managers they can share that knowledge with the team, so that what will happen after sharing that knowledge, the team will again be updated with the information that can be used for the betterment of the process. So retaining is also important. When we talk about retaining the knowledge, so that knowledge has to be stored somewhere, it has to be converted in such forms. Many of the times, like we have said here, that that knowledge can be seen in the forms of articles, journals or newsletters, or even the survey reports, the results of the researchers. And so to retain that knowledge with the organization, it has to take certain steps. It can be employee retention because they are the knowledge sources. It can be the retention of the knowledge which is present in whole process together and not to any individual. So as a team also, sometimes the teams are having the whole process knowledge. So you cannot replace any team at once. And then there is a sharing. So we have already talked about how that can be shared. So any knowledge that is identified, acquired, developed, retained has to be shared through three sources of information, that is explicit, implicit and tacit. This sharing happens in the forms of these blogs and articles, etc. Now what happens after sharing this? This sharing will help the organization to create these 5 factors. These 5 factors are important because when the whole knowledge is converted into some output, it will look in the form of knowledge strategies, knowledge process, knowledge technology, knowledge engineering and knowledge culture. So let us take an example that if there is employee dissatisfaction or even a satisfaction, okay, it can be either the case. So if that is being observed, even for the observation you will need some sources, that how one will come to know that his employees are satisfied or dissatisfied. So there has to be some observation by the person and which initiates this research, and in the organization this is actually a regular practice. But this practice was given to the organization because someone someday in the past had noticed this and he started improvising this process. May it be the 14 principles of F.W. Taylor, where he talks about division of work and healthy working conditions, unity, and so many. So he has given a total of 14 principles. Even those 14 principles, if an organization is trying to implement, it can have certain observations. Those observations can be recorded. Now the person who is observing them and recording them is also an individual. And he is taking the help of some system. That infrastructure is enabling to store that knowledge in the form of records. Those can be, like we have said here, that is the data that is being collected by that person. So that can be stored in the forms of tables, documents, speeches, or even the diagrams. Now, if such observations are there and they have been analyzed, the decisions can be taken to improvise them. Now, if there is a dissatisfaction among the employees, the company can take steps increase the satisfaction level of those employees. So here, to increase that, whatever steps the company will be taking, that will be a strategy and that will be implemented through some process, and that's why we have mentioned here these 5 sources or the frameworks where the knowledge is being worked on. So even the satisfaction among the employee is there, then it doesn't end the goal for the organization. If such employees are satisfied, the next step comes is what more and what better the organization can do with such an enabled team. So high performing, like we have talked about this in our previous lectures about high performance teams. So high performance human assets are again being developed, because the process of the development is a continuous process. So here again the company can strategize for better and bigger goals for the organization, and also the expansion strategies, or they can have the preparation strategies for the future. If any company is having extremely effective system which brings the latest knowledge, and also it is able to analyze the future and future changes, what that company can do with such a knowledge. That company will always be safe, that company will have a competitive advantage over such companies who are not having that level of knowledge, and they will super perform. So this is how the knowledge can be used as an asset for the organization, and it results in building the competitive advantage. So friends, I hope these are enough. There are number of theories built on knowledge management. There are knowledge management frameworks, there are knowledge management researches, and many more. You can go through them and check how the companies are being implementing them. So there are big companies like Google, Infosys, Wipro who are using this, and let us take an example of again Apple. We often discuss this. So companies like Apple who are outperforming with their unique technologies, they are able to do that because they are having such sources of people or technology which are enabling them to create such innovative products. So innovation is also being possible there because those people who are innovating, they are using certain knowledge which is not elsewhere available in the market. Friend, hope this is pretty clear. So unless and until I bring you the next management lesson, keep watching and keep learning. Thank you.